The educated opinion on topics of all varieties. This your boy Bubba, and you already know what I'm about to say, right? You are listening to Bubba's Banter. What's good, y'all? It's your motherfucking boy. I ain't gotta say no names. I'm so animated, sorry. Anyway, it's your boy Bubba, and you are listening to Bubba's Banter. Welcome back, y'all. I hope y'all guys are living well, feeling well. I just want to say shout out to everybody that listened to my last episode with my boy Johnny. That was a good episode. I love the episode. I had a lot of fun with Johnny. Me and Johnny crack jokes. We have fun. Johnny has been a friend for a long time. Like, I think my first chapter of coming out, because I think coming out happens in chapters. That's just my way of looking at coming out. It happens in chapters. So, he was like the first chapter of my coming out phase, and just like, he was a really good friend. And so that was a good show. I'm going to have him back on eventually. Y'all make sure y'all go follow him on Instagram and all the social Space Dragon. But yeah, I hope you guys are living well, feeling well. You know what to do. Go follow me on Instagram, which is The Real Dog Dre. Also Bubba's Banter podcast, which is Instagram. Also follow me on TikTok, which is Bubba's Banter podcast. Please do that. I need that up. In order for me to put my link in the bio, I need to have 1,000 followers. So please go follow, man. Just go follow your boy. Please do. Also follow my Facebook page, which is Bubba's Banter. I love that the most. I've already told you that, so I'm not going to exhaust that point today. And you also know what I'm about to say. Go get these bearskin underwear. Go get these bearskin underwear. For real. They were designed with the big boy in mind. So please go get them. They are fucking amazing. They just dropped the new Barbie backwood underwear. They're very, very, very cute. I like how they look. I like the pink. They're really, really cute. So go get those. Use my promo code, which is Bubba, and you will get 15% off your checkout order. Okay, go get them. They are fucking cute. My favorite still is the watermelon print. That shit it's very, very cute. I feel like out of all the designs, and sorry Jody and Björn, out of all the designs that you guys have, the watermelon one is the best. Is literally the best print to me. I love the way it looks. It's perfect. So I that's my favorite print. But anyways, so yes, I have a reoccurring guest on my show today, and I know y'all know who it is, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring him in right quick for y'all.
You caught me in the middle of a text. I was like, oh shit, let me look.
I was like, I ain't gotta say his name. They already know who the boy is, Darius. You already know who it is.
Hi.
How you been doing, friend? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I've been good. It's been a busy summer. I've been out and about, traveling a lot, doing a lot. I feel like this is the first summer where we've really gotten to kind of get active since COVID and stuff.
I know. Yeah. So my summer, I've been working a lot this summer though. I will say that, but I've been outside a little bit. I mean, yeah. I ain't been out where I want to be, but I've been outside.
But I mean, you got to make your bread, because especially in the summer with what you do, I feel like it's a perfect time to get overtime and
the perfect time.
Yeah, you got to get that extra money.
The perfect time. I think for what I do, right now, the industry of what I do is the turnover rate is very, very high. We'll get fucking 80 people that come in, get interviewed, then we'll go from 80 to 30. They go off to training, come back. Oh, now we got 14. Oh, by the end of the next month, we got 5 left. The turnover rate is very, very high for TSA, and it just sucks because I think people, they come in thinking I get flight benefits Oh, you don't get flight benefits, baby. We don't. TSA and the airlines are two different entities, and I try to tell people that all the time.
I wouldn't even think that. I'd be like,
yeah, like people, you. Oh my god, bro! I have to rant about this real quick. You do not know the amount of people that hop in my inbox all the time when they find out I work for TSA. Hey, can I get some flight benefits? Like, you got a buddy pass? Like, do I look like I work for Alaska? Like, no. Like,
I guess
why are you asking me this?
It can't hurt to ask. But
I mean, yeah, you're right. It can't hurt, but at the end of the day, it's just like Google, y'all. Google. Google. Okay. All I get is TSA pre-check for free. Okay. That's about it. And that's just probably the best part about it, you know.
That's lit. Yeah. Hey.
I try to tell people too, like the reason why, because people's like, oh, that's so stupid. That's so stupid that you guys don't get benefits. And it's like, you don't understand the conflict of interest there. Like if we getting free flights, you know, you don't know what an airline person or a crew is like trying to like. It's a lot that I can unpack about the conflict of interest between getting flights for a discounted price or whatever. But I think people don't understand that they're two different entities. But anyways, we have yes. We have a lot to talk about today on the show. I had to take notes too. Like I was like, because it's just so much that I want to talk about. Like I'm gonna keep it organic as much, but I still want to use my notes as much as I can because I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm saying things the right way and I'm not getting sued because I'm not trying to get Tasha K. Like none of that. None of that. Okay. Because I do not have that type of money and I do not have.
Neither does she.
Yeah, and I don't have that type of money to try to move to a different country. To like, never mind, I'm not going to see. Let me shut my mouth before I get in trouble.
Get you an African, like they
Anyways, y'all. So this is the entertainment segment. We're going to talk about a few topics tonight, and the first one we're going to start with is Cardi B. So Cardi B is in the headlines for pretty much acting a fool in a good way. In a good way. I would say in a good way. But at the same time, I'm just like, sis, now you know people don't act right. Like Cardi, you know people, you tell people to do something, people are not going to do exactly what you're asking them to do. So pretty much Cardi B was performing at a nightclub called Dre's Beach Club and Nightclub in Vegas, which I think that just Vegas, I've never been, first off.
You've never been to Vegas?
I've never been to Vegas, bro. And I'm 34 years old.
And you live on the West Coast. That's
I live on the West Coast, yeah. I've never been. So I did say, though, I was telling myself maybe this year, but for the end of the summer or the end of the year is up, I might just pop up, just see what it's like or something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So she was at this nightclub performing for her fans. It was hot. She was asking her fans to splash water on her to cool her down. But however, one cup of one fan was throwing water that had ice in it and it hit Cardi. Some of it hit her in her face and shit. And she fucking took that mic and was and it hit the person and ricocheted, hit another fucking bystander. Yeah, and it was just a mess. It was a mess.
It was giving Cardi Clemente. She has the arm of her Dominican ancestors. She needs to play for the MLB on somebody's baseball team. The accuracy, I was like, goddamn, Cardi.
Like, she threw that motherfucking mic so fucking fast, bro. Like, it was just crazy. Like,
the precision, it was just so
the precision. It was like, I was like, bro, this was amazing. But the bystander actually sued her or trying to press charges. I mean, saying that she wasn't the one that threw it and all this shit. But what I was reading on People, they said that they discovered that although through a review of the case in the consultation from the Clark County district attorney's office that the case has been closed because of insignificant evidence and no charges will be filed in this case. I mean, it was an accident, I guess, but
yeah,
I think Cardi, it was an act of frustration. Like, and I feel like the fan, like, I'm sorry, like, I do feel like at least if that's the case, like Cardi should reach out to the bystander, like, hey, I apologize. I wasn't trying to hit you, you know, at least if that haven't happened yet. But I feel like at least that's what she could do. Like, but this shit happens.
I mean, again, I feel like if I was, I mean, this is me. So if I was in the audience and I saw what had happened, the person next to me threw a cup of ice and who knows what else at this person.
Yeah.
And the reaction was that reaction. I wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to try to come up by suing her for money. Because that's really the only reason that girl sued her. It's not like she ruined her life or gave her sustained like permanent damage that she would have needed healthcare for the rest of her life. You know, she just wanted to come up on some money. So I feel like it was just somebody being greedy and trying to use a moment. But it's just so silly. You know what was happening. You saw it happen. Right. Just move on and tell a story. Right. So that was me in the video, and you have your little Instagram moment. Right.
Go viral, shit.
Go viral, yeah.
Go viral for the wrong reasons. Go ahead. Go home, yeah. But the gag is, the fucking mic that she threw is on eBay set at $90,000, bro.
Really? Yes. Wow. That is not something that I would expect. Maybe like a pair of sunglasses or that kind of thing with the microphone.
But the microphone, like,
that's funny.
Like, how did they even get the microphone? Like,
that probably doesn't even belong to her. Probably belongs to the nightclub or to the producer.
Yeah, which is weird. I was like, okay, I just really didn't understand why would you even want to do that? But also, I do want to touch on this. Is that I think that Cardi's reaction is probably also due to realizing that a lot of these fucking a lot of concerts recently, fans have been acting the fuck up, throwing what was it last week at Pusha T's concert? Fucking fans were throwing beer at him while he was rapping. I think people were saying it was Drake fans, but they were throwing beer at him while he was rapping, and he was still rapping. Well, I mean, there's other concerts where people were throwing shit up on stage.
That BB Rexa, that guy threw a phone at her.
Yeah.
Lotto's had a few people throw shit on stage.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna get to a point where they're gonna put a mesh fucking cover up. Yeah. And we're not gonna be able to get that intimate moment with celebs.
Yeah.
And I also don't understand for the price of these tickets, for the price of these motherfucking tickets that y'all spend on these tickets, to go up and disrespect somebody. You spending $300-$400 to be sitting right in front of these people, and you want to go throw fucking shit at them
and then get kicked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a copycat thing. People just are seeing it happen and they're like, ooh, I can make this a moment. Or they know that there are certain people who will react. And so they keep doing it to them. They know Lotto's going to react. They know Cardi's going to react. BB Rexa, I feel like she gets a lot of hate from white Twitter gays for whatever reason. So that is a whole separate thing. But yeah, it's just, I think people being copycats and trying to have a moment. But it's
stupid.
Yeah. And you end up really hurting people. Like you said, you spend all this money to go to a concert for you to then go and assault someone literally, which is what you're doing. And then you get kicked out of the concert. So you just wasted $300-$400 to be on TMZ as a criminal. That's not what I would want to be.
That is not the plug.
Famous or known for.
Like I said before, going viral for the wrong reasons. Yeah. It's just that's not what it is. But anyways, now let's touch onto this story. It's really deep and shit. Honestly, I was gonna pull it off, but I was like, no, I'm gonna keep it because it's really sad. Because I don't want to be crying on my show. I'll be looking crazy. But Oshae Sibley hate crime at a gas station. This happened. What night was that? 28th, I think.
Yeah.
Or it was it was one of those nights. I know it was just it was
the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Sibley, 28-year-old professional dancer. He danced with multiple different people. He was killed in New York at a gas station, pretty much just dancing, voguing at a gas station, just being gay, pretty much. And he was with some friends. They were celebrating a friend's birthday. I think that's what I was reading online. And he was actually trying to defuse the situation. And he got stabbed by a 17-year-old, and they happened to be like Muslim folks too, from also what I kept reading online. Um, and in the past 2 weeks, I feel like the community, like the gay community, like the LGBTQ community, in a sense, have just been through some shit. Like from the arguing to which we're gonna touch on later to like just you know so much stuff that's just like it does not make sense. Like, why in the fuck can a person just be themselves, live how they live, be who they are? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. And I tell people all the time, like, I code switch a lot because of survival. Like, and I can't help it. And I think people don't understand that motive of like when you go into places like for me, I fucking sharpen up, especially places that are not familiar. Like I don't use gay lingo when I go to certain places with my friends. I don't call all my bros girl. When I'm with my bros, like I do that with my gay friends. But when I get with my bros, I don't say no. I don't do no girl. You better shut the fuck up, or girl. I don't turn into that type of gay person because in those spaces, I know that I can't be me 100% of the times. Like I can't, or not necessarily be me. I can't mix the two together. When I go in these places, it's either I need to appear straight or I need to appear gay in certain spaces, and that's what I hate. And I think people don't understand that, and because the fear of having to be in a situation like O'Shea had to be in, like it sucks, and I don't understand it. Like I'm still not understanding why we are not allowing people to be themselves, authentically be themselves, holistically.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. It's mind boggling to me.
Yeah.
And I hate calling everybody homophobic, or I hate, not, I hate calling everybody homophobic. I hate, um, I think we talked about this on the last show with the girls when we were having this conversation about how like, you know, it's hard to say, it's not okay to say that, you know, every gay person who is homophobic, question their sexuality, like just they're straight homophobic.
Right.
And now it's like I actually do understand like that word homophobic, like people just live in homophobia. Like it's not always them questioning like if that dance or if that person wearing this is turning them on. They just hate it. They just that's that's the fear of it. Like they fear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's irritating, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it because it's very, very irritating. And it's a sad situation and I don't want to cry on here.
Yeah. I think what makes it really sad and interesting for me is that this happened in New York City, like in a
Yeah.
place where we're supposed to be super accepting and everyone is allowed to be themselves and everybody pays, they pay their own mind, they don't pay anyone
Yeah.
else any mind. You do what you want. As long as you're not in my way, it's whatever. And for this to happen in that kind of place, I think is representative of what's happening in this country, where it's like the kind of those moments of like homophobia and racism, those things that seem small to some people that happen in pockets of the US where, maybe in the South where people think that homophobia or racism are more rampant because of Christianity or the history of racism or whatever in the country. It's happening everywhere. People are being emboldened by the internet, by
Oh
politicians, by
yeah.
their families. And so being a New Yorker and seeing something like that happen, um, in this city where I have always felt pretty safe being gay, even when I didn't necessarily have the language to describe being gay, I always felt pretty safe. It's scary. And I went out to his vigil. He had there was a protest hosted by
Yeah.
a Black trans liberation group, and ballroom community came out. And so, what was interesting about that community is that it's a very it's a small community, and it's in Brooklyn where this happened. So
Yeah.
in this part of Brooklyn, there's a lot of like Orthodox Hasidic Jews that live in the area, and then there are clearly like other like conservative religious groups that live like amongst each other.
Yeah.
And not to say that that's the cause of his death, because the people who were at the gas station didn't necessarily have to be from the community.
Right.
But it's just interesting for that to have happened in that kind of community where it's like very, very like palpably, you can almost feel how like conservative and how uber religious it is, and how that kind of thing may not be accepted or celebrated in that kind of area or space. And so marching through the area, you're like, you see people coming up to their doorsteps and looking out their windows and like kind of standing out front of their doorsteps, like they were trying to protect their homes, which I get, because you like, if you hear hundreds of people screaming and
right.
it's marching, dancing in the street
in a small town.
yeah, exactly. Small town of Brooklyn. It was just, I don't know, it was it made me think a lot about what it means to be from anywhere, and how any place can be so different depending on what neighborhood you go to, and how some people, like you said, do have to code switch depending on where they go. And it shouldn't be that they have to, but it's a kind of unconscious consideration, because you have to fear for the potential that somebody might stab you to death because you have a gay voice, or because you're dancing in the gas station.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This shit was crazy, man. Like, I mean, and just yesterday on the 5th, the 70-year-old just got arrested. So
yeah,
and he got 17. Charged with murder. Yeah, 17
years old, taking someone's life because you couldn't handle how different they were.
Yeah, it's just sad. Like, I don't get that shit, and I don't get it. Like, I don't understand this shit. Like, I don't understand how we have not got to a point in 2023 where you realize that there's so many different people in the world. But I honestly do. What I will say is this, because I'm going to touch on this later in one of our topics. A lot of people don't understand how the dog whistles, we talked about this before, the dog whistles that conservatives put out there, how fucking like strong those fucking dog whistles are. How they go and pick all this, like these videos that they take out of context, and all these things that they post about, oh, the gay people trying to take your children, the trans people want to change your kids trans, the drag queens want to take your kids,
right?
Like all this shit, and it becomes panic, and people who have small minds and live in a small town, because they try that in a small town, you know, those type of folks, they live in such a small-minded thing where they honestly really believe that these people are trying to change your kids into being a drag queen or trans or gay.
Yep.
And it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
But it's a very successful campaign, right?
Yes.
Like we're seeing the very, very real effects.
Yeah.
People say things like, oh, rhetoric doesn't mean anything, or words don't hurt, or whatever. But that's kind of the point, that they don't hurt until the words translate into actual violence, into actual policy, into actual tangible things that affect people's lives. So yes, the being called a faggot, being called the T word, being called a tranny, whatever, being called the dyke in the street, it may not hurt because it's a word, but then the 4 other people who heard you get called those names in the street may feel so emboldened by that moment that then when they see another tranny or dyke or faggot at a gas station, or, you know, at the grocery store that they don't like, here they go confronting you, getting violent with you, getting people to join in on the violence, because it's just become so normal now. And I think that that's kind of the world too, right? Like things ebb and flow politically. We have examples of, like, you know, from the 60s of the huge civil rights movement where Black people were being liberated from Jim Crow segregation, and we have women being allowed to work, and all this stuff that like is this huge political wave coming from a very conservative ideology to liberal. And then you have the 70s, and you have the hippie movement, and you have the anti-war movement, and you have all of this stuff, second wave feminism that's happening, and it's very liberal. Everyone's having sex with each other. Everyone's free and vibing. We're all mixing and integrating. And then in the 80s, we have Reagan. We have the return of, or really the creation of conservatism under the like ideals of Christianity and money and all. So like, I think that we're just in a kind of an ebb of really conservative ideology. And I hope that we have learned enough from history. I mean, it does repeat itself, but I hope that we've learned enough and we have enough resources to be able to say, okay, now it's time to push back and be more visible and do things that are like gonna change the flow back to what we need it to be, which is acceptance and tolerance and all that shit. But
yeah, it's just, I don't know. Anyways, let's get on to this topic because I've been waiting to talk about. Well, not this topic, but I got another topic I'm really waiting to talk about. But this topic right here, I've also been talking about most of the week, and it's Lizzo.
Oh,
now, Miss Lizzo, sis.
Yes.
First off, what I want to say before I even start is that it's hard for me because I love her so much, and I feel like it's because like all the facts is still coming out. Like everything is still coming out. And I feel like with Lizzo, she's gone through so much shit, like so much scrutiny. Like she's always being told like the fat black girl, like all these things about her, like they pick on her. And it's so fucking annoying that they pick on her. But at the same time, I'm like, it could be true. Like a lot of the shit that came out could be true, but let me go ahead and put some facts out there. So Lizzo has been sued by 3 former dancers who claim that they were subject to a hostile work environment and harassment while they were members of the girls' dance team. Right? There's a lot of shit going on. I'm not. I don't want to talk too deep into it until all the facts come out. And Lizzo just now, talked about the claims. And so for me, it's just like the memes are funny though. I will say the memes.
It's not like it's not kind of funny. I feel like we can be honest about the fact that it's like a little ironic that she was like, "You fat ass bitch." You can't be dancing on my stage, you big whale ass bitch. You need to drop some weight. I can't be the only one in here putting in work, fatty. Like that's a little bit funny coming from Lizzo. I can't lie. In fact, it kind of makes me like her a little bit more now than I used to.
Bro, what I say, I laughed when I saw the meme where it was Lizzo, and then it was like when she's on stage, and then the next like when she's off stage, it was a picture of Monique from Precious. Bitch, when I say I hollered into like I was at work, bro, and like I always got in trouble. I laughed so fucking loud when I saw that meme.
Well, what's the woman's name from Players Club who owned the club?
Oh yeah. Oh fuck, what's her name?
I never seen that movie. I've never seen Players Club.
Wait, what?
I know. I can't bring myself to watch it because I hate rape scenes in movies.
Oh
yeah, there's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
So I can't.
You can watch the unedited version. I mean the edited version.
The edited version, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, BET. That BET good at that.
Yeah,
they changed, nigga. What's up, brother? Like BET good.
They cut it all out.
They cut it all out, and in fact, they actually did cut that scene out on the BET one.
Yeah, I can't watch it. But yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it was kind of funny that.
Yeah. Fuck. Now you got me want to know her name.
I think it's Ronnie.
Ronnie, yeah, it's Ronnie. Yeah, it's Ronnie. Yeah, bro.
I just have to look it up.
That shit is funny as hell because it's true. Like Ronnie, that's what she turned into. But at the same time, like I feel like these girls, like, okay, I'm gonna keep it real from a dancer's perspective. On that perspective, like, I felt bad for them, but I'm at the same time like, girl, you signed up. Like most dancers know that when they get on a dance team and they're touring, like Like there's restrictions. Like you can't be gaining weight. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. Like now, I'm not saying you got to be talked to a certain way.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that she got to be rude and be like, bitch, now you know your ass is gaining weight. Like, bitch, bitch, them titties is just flopping all over the place. Girl, you gaining too much weight. But if someone's like telling you like, hey, like sis, like I know like I'm a fat girl too, but like I feel like you gaining a little too much weight. You partying too much on the tour. You know, after the tour, you partying too much. You know, blah 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 blah. That's understandable. But like at the same time, I just feel like there's so much stuff that's coming out that I feel like it could be a two-way thing. It's not just a one-way thing. Like I feel like people love to like make these like, oh my god, you know, Lizzo was just so mean to me the entire time, or Beyonce just took even like Beyonce. I remember like people used to say, oh, Beyonce is just so mean on tour. Like I went on tour with her 2 times and she's just this and she's just that. And I'm like, girl, stop lying. Like you first off,
mean, even if she was mean, like my thing is this:
you getting paid.
People act like being a celebrity is also not a job.
Exactly.
And when all of us have been in professional situations where we've worked with someone who was a little bit less than savory, who was not necessarily politically correct, who might have been mean to you, who might have bullied you, does not make it right, but it also is the same thing that happens in other professional settings that performers are in. So to hold Beyonce or Lizzo to a different standard than you hold your boss or your coworkers is a little bit silly, because we think of celebrities as like otherworldly or superhuman, and they're just people too. So yeah, if Beyonce is mean, if she's a bitch, if she's the baddest bitch in the game, like yeah, if she needs to yell at some people to get some shit done, we are grateful for it, because the end product is that she's Beyonce. The end product is that she is Lizzo. For me personally, I understand that there are situations and things and people who, you know, like it can be a little bit extreme. It could actually hurt your self-esteem. It could affect the way that you work in your environment. Of course, like that. And even in my own like in my own settings where things happen, I have to be cognizant of the fact that like I don't like working with this person and it affects the way that I do my job. That is a problem. But at the end of the day, it's like it's an HR problem. The world does not need to be privy to the fact that like this one person called you fat. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, cool. You know, and I get that it's because it's Lizzo and she celebrates body positivity and being fat and all of this stuff. But it's like fat people hate ourselves and each other more than anybody else. Goddamn.
Okay.
Like, come on. Let's be honest about it. The simple truth is fat bitches, and that includes niggas too, hate each other. So it's like, okay, yeah, she called you a fat bitch because we hate being fat. You know,
okay, because there's now I'm gonna just drop my own truth. There's sometimes I'll be like, girl, that fat bitch don't even know I'll cuss her out. Like I'll be quick to call motherfucker that fat bitch over there. I don't know why she be like, come on, like we do it all the time. Because I know for a fact I do it. I'll call a motherfucker fat in a heartbeat. Like, oh, that big bitch, oh fat sloppy ass bitch. Like I use it.
I mean, that's you gotta be honest about it. You gotta be, and the other thing too is like, the other accusation was that she made them perform like kind of pseudo sexual acts at this club in Amsterdam with the banana and the woman's vagina,
the coochie banana, whatever this shit is.
And I saw a video on TikTok, and this woman who's like a PR professional, she was like, yeah, I genuinely believe that Lizzo would like encourage her coworker or like, you know, whatever, the people around her to do some strange shit like that, because she seems like the kind of person to like be very crass and try to encourage behavior that makes everyone uncomfortable. I totally, as someone who like has been on both sides of that, I can totally see her like trying to get people to do it.
Yeah.
And it's hard because like those girls said, or like her dancer said, they're not girls, they're women. Like they said, they were like, you know, it seemed like the people who did more for her became closer to her, like friends. And it's hard because you want to be friends with these celebrities, right? Like you want to get all of being friends with them. You want to fly private with them. You want to go to parties, meet all of their friends. But then the line gets a little bit unclear.
Blurred,
it gets blurred when you're like, oh, I thought we were trying to be I thought we were friends, but this is making me uncomfortable. And now that I'm uncomfortable, I'm seeing you more as my boss or as my colleague than as my friend. So you need to pick a side. If this is someone that you want to be friends with, then treat them like a friend and address them directly. If this is someone that you are working with, who you expect to have a professional relationship with, address them that way. But we need to figure out where we are in our relationships. And at the end of the day, it is a professional relationship, period, point blank.
Right, period, point blank.
If for you are more concerned about having a connection with this person, then like follow up with them like a real bitch. Like, hey, you did some uncomfortable shit. And if they did that, kudos to them. If not, I feel like maybe there was a step between this and like exposing her like that. But I don't know. Ooh, my mouth is dry. I'm talking.
You did say a mouthful though. So. I said you better go off. That's what I said in my head. You better go off, friend, because it's true for real. I don't know. Like I just feel like at the end of the day, like we really do need to like wait for everything to come out and just like really let the dust settle. Because I feel like there's so much shit that's going on. I feel like it's just like because Lizzo is who Lizzo is. I feel like in everything she does, she always gets screwed. I remember when she had that she played the flute of whoever that fucking dude was, and the motherfucking conservatives went crazy over this shit. Went fucking like, bro, it's a fucking flute. That's how many years old?
Right.
Girl, leave that girl alone. Like
that was probably made during chattel slavery. So
okay. Now, if Jason Aldean played it, y'all be like, yeah, try that in a small town.
Why are you so obsessed with that?
Bro.
You are obsessed with that song.
I am, bro, because it's just funny. Like, I feel like it's a parody. Like
I mean, it's such a bad song. But
I'm telling you, it's a racist slow jam. Like, that's what it sounds like, bro.
I'm dead. It really is.
I was stuck on it because it's just so funny. Like people really like it that much. Like, bro, there's so many other fucking offensive like country singers out there that just has better songs than this fucking song.
And also, it says a lot about where the country is right now. That song is number one, and that people are like actually enjoying it.
Bro,
like, of all the country songs that are out there, there's some good ones. I feel like that one.
Try that in small town. Okay. I guess. Anyways, I don't want to make this about him. I talked about him last show. But it's just so fucking funny. But anyways, let's hop onto the topic of the entertainment topic that I've been wanting to talk about all fucking week. It's just the fucking mess. I need to talk about this the most. Before I talk about this, I do want to say, because I am going to be talking about this again with a woman on my show, biological woman. I'm going to be having a friend of mine come on. We're going to talk all gender stuff and things of that sort. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. But I'm not gonna say cis women because I know some of y'all don't like that. And if I say real woman, don't take that offensively. I just want to.
Oh, I'm gonna say cis. I don't know you, so I don't have to protect your feelings.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. If you
I'm just saying.
You heard about it.
Right, I'm just saying for me as the host, and like I don't want people to like feel like, oh, Bubba, I support your show, and you calling me sis. Like, nah, I want to protect my brand a little bit. But anyways, I don't care what you do is because you already know. Anybody that come on my show can say how they feel and what they feel and be how they feel. So being the course that. But a couple weeks ago, approximately like 2 weeks ago. Miss Just the Mess. I forgot how her slogan goes, but yeah, Just the Mess got on Instagram and made a video responding to a TikToker, which I think her name is Rose. I did some research on her too, and so she got on there. She just was going crazy, and womanhood periods don't belong to women, and womanhood don't belong. Like we're not the gatekeepers of womanhood. Like a whole bunch of weird shit. It turns into a gender war, pretty much. And so some of the things she said was, "Who the fuck is gonna stand up for us?" And by us, I mean women, real women, biological women. were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. Then she says, when does the delusion stop? What's the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? Which that fucking triggered me like a motherfucker. The only difference is that you don't have a straight jacket on. That also hit a point. Stop talking out your fucking ass. She goes on to say transgender women will never be real women. I'm gonna let you go first because I I need to catch my breath because I want to go off, but I gotta like regulate my emotions.
Wow. Well, of course, prefacing this by saying I am not trans, I'm not a woman.
Yeah.
So my experience is that of a cisgender man who likes to suck cock and balls, and that's, or I mean,
Okay.
honestly, and eat pussy if it's attached to a man.
Okay.
But my thing is this. Okay, I understand that cisgender women feel like they are being further subjugated by a system or society or whatever that regularly enforces what it means to be a woman, or regulates what it means to be a woman, right? Like they're trying to control women's reproductive rights. And by they, I mean the powers that be, political powers, white men, et cetera, controlling their reproductive rights, controlling access to healthcare related to menstruation, making it impossible to buy tampons and things like that, making it difficult for them to get jobs, et cetera, all of those things. So I understand that women, and this has been a lifetime, a lifelong thing of, oppression at the hands of men who are trying to make women feel like they owe men something or that they are less than, I guess. But I also feel like and I think T.S. Madison and a few other people have said this in response, that energy is being directed to the wrong people.
Yep.
Trans women, in my experience that I've spoken to, that I know personally, have no interest in being real women. I think that a lot of trans women, from what I understand and what I've experienced through friends, go through this phase where, like we all do, like even as a gay man, I can say that like I went through a phase where I wanted to be super masculine, right? And I just present in a way that like, yes, I'm gay, but I'm a man, and I do these things, and I prescribe to what it meant to be a man. But then as you get older, as you understand that like you'll never be exactly like a heterosexual man. You'll never be perceived the same way that straight men are. Similarly, trans women understand that they will never be perceived the same way as cisgender women when people find out that they're trans.
Exactly.
And it's crazy because people seem to think that like the intention of transitioning is to somehow convince men that these trans women are like real women, that they're trying to go stealth, that they're trying to deceive these men, when the reality is that these men know that these women are trans. They're seeking trans women out. This is not science. This is not new. This is not news to anybody. Men like trans women, and trans women like being trans. Trans women all of them don't feel like they have to chop off their genitals and change their genitalia to be real women. Some do, a lot do. That is fine, but there's no difference. There are some differences, but you could make the argument that augmenting your body as a cisgender woman, getting a BBL, getting a breast job, getting a nose job, getting your hairline brought down, getting your eyebrows lifted, is the same gender affirming care that trans women get to get asses and to get breasts and to get higher cheekbones, to do all of the stuff. So sure, they will never be able to menstruate, never be able to bleed. But if that's the thing that you're holding on to as a woman, to feel like you are more than a woman than this other woman who does not have to bleed every month to, prove her femininity, that's a very limited scope of what your womanhood is. And that is, of course, I'm saying this, and I know that I know nothing about being a woman. So my place in this conversation is at the very low, at the bottom of the totem pole of like importance. But I can't support the subjugation of trans women by other women who could use trans women's support to make their point, to get access to the gender affirming care, because the more that trans women's rights are stripped away, the more that your rights as a cis woman are stripped away. If they're saying,
they don't see the intersectionality of all of it. They don't see it.
It's all interconnected, and this is the intended goal, to make the inside, right, to get people who are on the inside the same way that slave traders they hired certain black folks to patrol the fields, to get slaves, to catch slaves and bring them to port, to those ships, right? They're convincing cis women that they need to also do the same thing. Hold these trans women to the fire, make them feel like they don't belong, because at the end of the day, we're controlling all of you still. We're still getting what we want out of both of you, but we're gonna create a caste system so that we can make it seem like you're more important, or that whatever.
Friend, you better preach. You better
that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
You better preach. Friend, my thing was like Jess the mess. I love Jess. So like I mean, she said some things in the past. I'm not gonna seriously say that was problematic, but the bitch is funny. Like Jess is funny as fuck. Like I don't care what nobody said to me. Like she say some shit and she'll say it so in a way where it's just like, oh my god. That wasn't even like that big of a funny, but it's fucking funny the way her delivery comes off. She is funny. Like she gives me like female Kevin Hart almost like just because the way she delivered things. And I think like she's just funny. I like her. I've always liked her. I've been following Jess since she was on Vine. Like I fuck with her, but I just feel like in this sense, like she was so emotionally attached to what that video that she could have been like, I know trans women. I talk to multiple, like, because I mean, she quote unquote hires these people, to do things for her, like her hair and all this stuff, which is another thing I want to talk on too, which I was trying to say for the next show, but I'm gonna do it on this one. Like a lot of the things that, like stuff like that, like if you knew these people, why did you have to approach the video that way? When you could have been like, honey, please tell me what you mean by this, because I don't understand what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Because everything that you said was transphobic. Like saying you pretty much generalized every trans person off this one video that was taken out of context. And what a lot of people don't know is that the video that she responded to was 2 years old. Mm. It was 2 years old. What libs of so if anybody know what libs of TikTok is, libs of Twitter, libs of Instagram, it's a group that's mostly right wing. What they do is they go through people's pages and they take shit and then they post it up saying that this person says this or says that. That whole video was taken out of context. What that video was her responding to a biological woman attacking a trans man for having a period. And she responded to the person's video. That's why there's a comment up there, a comment. And so that's where the video comes from. Now, do I necessarily feel like it could have been, it could have been worded differently to make people understand what she was saying? Of course. But like at the end of the day, like that's when you have like you don't virtue sick, you transphobia. That's because that's what it was. Like everybody, I stand with Jess. I stand with Jess. I stand with Jess. You stand with someone that's being transphobic, and you have trans friends. Some of y'all got trans brothers and sisters and cousins. Like your
Aunt Pookie, who dressed with a band on to make her breasts look smaller, and she wear big t-shirts and big jeans and a fitted cap, and she got a baldy, she had a Caesar, a fade. She might not be trans, but she's certainly playing with the idea of gender. And performing. Okay. Gender. So
Fred, you better go off. You better go off. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like people a baldy.
I mean, they be having the tightest lineup. I'm telling you.
You made me forget what I was gonna say. God damn it.
I'm sorry. sorry. You were saying that you have friends and family who are trans, and you're supporting us who's saying this transphobic.
Yes. So you have friends and family who are like this, but like, why in the hell? So why in the hell would you stand with someone that's being transphobic like this? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And back to the, the discourse about conservatives. They put all these dog whistles out here for you guys for us to argue. Mm-hmm. It's white supremacy at its finest. Mm-hmm. They put all these dog whistles out here of things that they think is happening, which is not really fucking happening. Mm-hmm. No, we don't want your kids. We don't want your kids to be trans. Trans kids have existed for fucking ever. Mm-hmm. We don't, and one of the things I hate the most too, that a lot of, just put on a wig and getting some titties don't make you a woman. Oh, you don't just, I can just put on a wig and wake up one day and be no, you cannot, because it doesn't happen that way. It does not happen that way. And the thing that I hate the most is that they let mental illness issues, like there was a video of this, I'm gonna say he was a trans person, mm-hmm. or she was a trans person, but obviously just unkept. Mm-hmm. Wig, halter top, and a skirt, and they had a heart on. It was in a woman's bathroom, and someone was filming it. And it's like when situations like that happen, y'all literally take that out on all trans people.
Like heart on, you mean like an erection? They had
like an erection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, the motherfucker still could have been just wanting to use the bathroom. But they had a hard dick. But at the end, I was trying to justify. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I was trying to justify it. But it was like, I was like, he could have took Viagra that day. He could have took Viagra, bro. And when you take Viagra, that dick stay hard. Like, I'm telling you, he could have popped a Vi or a motherfucking Cialis. It was like, I gotta go pee, and that dick was just standing up, like. For real.
Oh my god.
For real, and that could have happened, but he still had to go pee. Shit.
Yes.
So and I felt bad, but you can tell when you look at the person though. Like, they looked a little delayed. They looked like they had a disability or something. And so I felt bad. Like, I was like, but at the same time, I'm like, girl, you really think that man was going to attack you? Like, girl, stop acting like a damsel in distress. Like, get the fuck out of here.
And it's also like you said, you can pull a screenshot or a video from any moment in time. And if you post it in 2023, then it's like, oh, look, the trans people are trying to molest and rape girls in the bathrooms. You see this woman with a heart on. It's like, but like men in the men's bathroom have erect penises, and you can't see that women are visibly like horny because nothing pops up for them. But like,
exactly,
that's just humans. You can't control your body sometimes. It's just how that goes,
bro.
It's just what's also interesting. I just got to say this too. I feel like growing up in New York City, right, and like being around a lot of different people, trans, gay, femme, studs, everybody, like femme, lesbians, everybody. I feel like the people who were protected the most by women, by cisgender women, real women, were the femme, gay men, and trans women.
Yeah.
And of course, you hear homophobia coming from people. And for me, it was mostly from men. You definitely hear women call gay men faggots. And if you get in an argument with a man, you call him a faggot, you fucking bitch, you fucking faggot. Like you're going back and forth. So, all bets are off when you're having an argument. But I feel like the people who are always the most protected by other women were those gay men and trans women.
Yeah.
And so to see, number one, the Black community fall victim to, like you're saying, these dog whistles that are being placed
out there
into
like
social
pockets,
media, into politics, to incite these kinds of this kind of backlash, this conversation within our own community. When the reality is that I I've seen, of course, the homophobia and transphobia, but I saw just as much acceptance and support of trans and gay people. And so I'm like, what happened that we lost that sense of community? Like, at the end of the day, we have to protect each other, gay, straight, otherwise. We are niggas out here.
Right. Right.
These motherfuckers don't care if you have a dick between your legs or not. If you're black, you're a target. If you're trans, you're even more of a target than anyone else. You're a trans woman, especially. But it's like, I don't know where that sense of community was lost, because there's so many people, even in my own family. Like there was, I don't know what name they use now. I think that she has transitioned since, but she was a very feminine gay person who was really close friends with my cousin. And she would come to parties. Everybody loved her. She had this long hair, like the fashions were on. She was cut. Like she was like, it was giving fish from the beginning. And so then to see her transition and now she's this beautiful woman, it's like no one thought twice about it, because it was like, that's just her. You know, and that's just who she is. And so and she was always protected. We always checked in on her. Like, and this is before she transitioned. And so it's like seeing that kind of love from within a family that I know has some homophobic and transphobic ideas and behaviors. I'm like, how do we get back to that? Because we can't allow these people to tear us apart and to make us forget that we actually take care of each other no matter what or who you are.
Exactly.
It's really sad. It's really sad. And for people to make it seem like this is a black issue, that black people are especially homophobic or especially transphobic. It's like, no, that's not true. I see all types of people in the hood, like in the ghetto, in the projects, dressed like however they want to be dressed, and they are celebrated and revered. So it's like the issues that are being talked about on social media are not as real in real life as people want to make it out to be.
Yeah,
because
it's everybody's own perspective too.
And there are so many more good people out there.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things too, I want to touch on what you were saying about, you know, homophobic men. Like, what I've been realizing is, like, especially on Twitter, like, like these, like, I told y'all not to fucking stop accepting those sissies. That's what y'all get. You see how they turned their back on y'all. They trying to take y'all womanhood, and but like this, all this gaslighting. And then the women, which this is one of the things that offended me, is that I saw somebody say, "Oh, we created space for y'all. We created space for y'all," and I'm like, "What? Created?" And I was like, it was so funny. When I saw the tweet, I saw a video or tweet from Funky.Neva, and Funky.Neva had posted a video responding to the Jesshilarious thing, and I had watched it, and he even touched on the whole thing about creating space for y'all, because a lot of y'all don't realize a lot of the space that y'all say that y'all created for us, it's fair exchange. We work for y'all. We work for y'all. But when we walk out that door, that sissy, that punk, that faggot, I don't keep my man around him because I know he be out here just sucking everybody dick, girl. He not gonna be sucking my man dick. He be telling me about how he hooked up with XYZ girl, boyfriend. Girl, no. We work for y'all. You didn't create space for us. We work for y'all. Nothing's fair. Nothing's wrong with fair in exchange. Like
and we also we had to create our own space. And we invited y'all into that space because we trusted you.
Exactly.
We love you, because we celebrate you. And so now we, like you said, have this exchange where we take from your lingo, you take from our lingo. We work for you, you work for us. We work together. I do your hair, you pay me to do your hair. Like this is how relationships work. They are, if they are to be positive, they are supposed to be symbiotic. We're supposed to be mutually getting something from this. So we created the space and we allowed you to come into it the same way that you have allowed us to come into your space. That is how relationships work.
Like, me and my homegirl was having talking about this yesterday, and she was like, well, you know, like, one of the things that bothered me is, like, Saucy Santana, they still own that too, about Saucy Santana saying what he said at that tour on one of his shows about how some of the gays teach them to be feminine or whatever. I love Saucy, but that was messy. I'm gonna die.
But is it untrue?
But is it untrue? Exactly. And I asked her, I said, well, is it untrue though? Like, do you have to you have to understand that femininity is not exclusive to females. Like, understand that some men, and not just like in the recent years, but like decades ago, have created trends that tend to be feminine. Like when you look at females and how they wear their makeup, some of them do be looking like drag queens because I know a gay boy beat them down. Like, girl, stop it. Like, stop it. Some of the way, like some of the words that y'all use, like, oh, I want to get my face painted, or I want to get beat, or some of the the makeup artists, they want their names is, oh, beat by Drea. Girl, you didn't girls didn't come up with that. Get the fuck out of here. Like I'm just saying, like, it's fair exchange. Like it is what it is. And again, femininity is not exclusive to females. It's everybody has it. Everybody shares. And that's another thing I want to touch on too. I don't see it as much, but like men are not fighting with trans men about being a man and masculinity, which is weird. Like, I mean, it's out there. Of course it's out there somewhere. But like, you don't see in the forefront of other men who are masculine men fighting with other men about masculinity and about being masculine.
Nope.
It's crazy.
Because men have nothing to be afraid of. Yeah. They know trans men aren't going to take their rights. They're not threatened by the idea of a stud or a trans man becoming more manly than them and taking their place, because they're at the top. That should actually be the perfect example for cis women who feel like their identity is under attack.
Yeah.
If straight men are not afraid that they are under attack and that their rights are about to be stripped away by trans men and masculine women, then you have nothing to be afraid of. Because
exactly,
if it hasn't laddered up to them, it really hasn't affected you all that much. And that's probably not as nuanced as it should be. But I genuinely feel like the people who are attacking you, the people who are trying to take your rights away from you, are not the people who are out there trying to use the bathroom with the gender identity that's affirming to them. It is not those
okay people. Right.
It's not the person who is doing your hair and nails and just got their breasts done, just got implants because they wanted to feel more like a woman. It's not that person.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways. All right, y'all. So we are going to hop onto the banter segment tonight. And this banter segment is going to be a little different. I came up with this game because I was binge watching Insecure on Netflix. Y'all know I did an actual Insecure finale review on here. I took down a bunch of episodes because I wanted to switch up my seasons, but now what I'm going to do is start putting like the actual season number and episode so people know where to start at. I'm probably not going to put anything up from season 1 because I feel like all that shit was just trash because of the audio and because I got this shit that I got a good mic now. I want to like let y'all experience the best version of Bubba the podcaster. So I might put up like season 3 or season 2, half of season 2 to season 4 up or keep up just for you guys to listen. But anyways, I did do an episode, and so in one of the episodes, the girls' night, they did this game called Questions in a Hat. So I got a hat right here for y'all that's listening. I know y'all can't see the hat, but for y'all that probably will be watching this soon, I have a hat, and so I have 10 questions in here, and I'm going to swirl them around, and then I'm going to pick a question, and then Darius is going to ask it or answer it. Ask it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I can see, and Darius can see.
Uh-huh.
All right, and then I'm gonna pick the question. Ooh, okay. All right. This is a good one.
Uh-oh.
All right. Describe the best decision you have ever made.
Wow. The best decision I have ever made was to wow, that's a really good question. Probably to forgive my father for kicking me out of the house when I came out, and just like other stuff that happened throughout my childhood with him.
Yeah.
He has worked privately really hard to be a better parent and to be more available to me emotionally, more available with his time. And there was a very long period where I resented him for all of that stuff, and rightfully so. But I was holding on to stuff that I could make the decision to let go because he was choosing to move forward as well.
Yeah.
And so I think that choosing not to be so attached to that pain was really helpful for my healing. As an adult, it allowed me to see myself differently, to see people who enter my life differently, relationships differently. But then it ultimately has repaired, or is still preparing my relationship with my dad. And we're definitely closer than we've been. I definitely feel way more emotionally connected to him than I ever have in my life. So I can see the residual effects of me kind of like letting my wall back down and like being a bit more vulnerable with him. And I guess just that has paid off dividends and it's been a very useful thing for me.
Okay. Good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. You got your questions?
Oh, okay. Wait. Hold on.
I like wait for it. What you doing?
I don't know. Wait, let me get my hat. Hold on. Wait, y'all, I'm in my underwear. Hold on.
I'll cut that part out, Fred. You gotta worry about that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Mine is, this is so silly. Who is the most important love of your life?
Ooh. It doesn't have to be romantic though, right? It could be just
open to interpretation.
Okay. The love of my life. Okay, I won't say his name. I won't say his name. But there's a person that I used to talk to. Well, we're friends still actually. He moved to Arizona and he was like the one that got away. Like we were supposed to be together. And it's so irritating because like we're still friends. And like when I see him, like my heart just like beats fast. It's weird. Like if he talks to me or like I see a picture, like I like it. But like we couldn't be a thing because he was dating a friend of mine. Like they were together, but like I had a thing for him and he had a thing for me. And when they were getting ready to break up, I didn't want to just enter in a relationship with him because I'm friends with both of y'all. It would have been really hard. We had sex and like we had sex and it was good. It was good sex. It was good. That boy had me going crazy. Like and you know me, like I like daddies too. So like also there was a part two where it was like, you know, I was letting that part of me like kind of dictate me and my feelings for him. Like I can admit like me having a type for certain people kind of dictates how I am with people. As far as dating wise goes. Mm-hmm. And so like it was just weird. Like we went through a whole thing for a week of just like realizing like we are like supposed to be with each other, but it just didn't work out. He ended up moving. He needed to move. He left. And we're still friends, but like he was the one that got away. Like I swear up and down he was supposed to be my boyfriend. Like I was supposed to be in a relationship with him. Like like every time I say God send me somebody, that I feel like he was the person that God sent me. So yeah.
Getting real deep.
Yeah. I hope he don't hear this, but he probably will because he listens to my show too.
Well, you being messy because you know he gonna hear it.
Yeah, I never told him that either. So that's so I guess
this is what you get on Bubba's. This is what you get on Bubba's Banter. You get the world tea.
I'm being vulnerable. Okay. All right. Let's see. Shit. I'm trying to pick one. I don't know which one to pick. I can't see the questions. I got them folded up. Okay, this one gonna probably be a nasty one. I gotta feel it.
Oh God.
Oh, it's not nasty. Okay, I'm being out the world. This one was a good one because I thought about this question for myself. If you can teach anyone in the world one skill, what would it be?
One skill in the world, probably small talk.
Yeah. Oh, I hate small talk.
Exactly.
I hate it.
I feel like small talk has helped. I think when you're good at small talk, it makes it very hard to dislike you.
Yeah.
And if you can hold a conversation with anyone about anything, if you can pick apart things that they're saying to you, and you can extrapolate one little detail and ask some questions about that one little thing, I think that it makes your life a little bit easier. It makes you a little bit better at interviewing.
Yeah.
It makes you a little bit better at building relationships with your coworkers, with friends, meeting your significant others, family members. Like, there are so many things that come with knowing how to communicate when you don't necessarily want to. Communicating when you have to, I think, is a really helpful skill. And people are sometimes like people have asked me, well, like, do you think that you've gotten your jobs, or they assume that I'm like so smart or that I'm so like accomplished because of the places that I've worked. And I'm like, no, I'm just really good at interviewing. I'm really good at getting people to like me because I know how to have conversation. So that's how I've gotten all of the jobs I've gotten. I'm not necessarily any more skilled or smarter than the next person. There are plenty of people who are way smarter and better at my job than me, but didn't get the job because their personalities didn't fit, or they didn't know how to be a human being with interests and an ear, essentially. So yeah, I would teach people how to small talk. What about you?
Yeah. And shit, now you're making me think, because I don't want to say small talk, but one of the skills that I would say is empathy. Empathy. I think I just went through the situation. So before I started the show, and you know, all the debacle that I went through, I went to Starbucks up the street to get some coffee because I was like, man, I want to wake up a little bit, give me some coffee, and all that shit. After I took my shower, I was like, yeah, I want some coffee. So I went to Starbucks, got some coffee. And then I was in line, and this, you know, Portland homeless problem that's going on here. Guy asked me, hey, you have any change? I said, oh, I don't have any change on me, man. I'm sorry. And then he asked the lady in front of me, and she like, no, I don't have any fucking change. You fucking blah, blah, blah. This is, I work hard. Like, went into this whole like little tyrant. And I was just like, we have gotten to a point with this homeless situation here in Portland. I know it's frustrating and it's annoying, but we've gotten to a point where we really are treating these people like they are not human anymore. And it really frustrates me because they also are in a situation. Like, yes, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. You live in paycheck to paycheck. Yes, I understand, you know, whatever. I understand the situation. But the point is that this person is at a lower point than you and probably has some mental disabilities as well. Doesn't have any support. If you don't got it, you don't got it. Oh, as simple as, no, I don't have any change, man. I'm sorry. Now, if they get all crazy with you, that's one thing. But the fact that all he did was ask you for some change, and you went into this whole tyrant, like something's going on in you internally that like you need to work out.
Yeah.
Because that's not okay to do to somebody that's in that type of situation.
Yeah.
And I'm really so tired of this homeless situation here in Portland myself. At the same time, like, girl, get together.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're people. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
All you gotta say is no. That's a good answer. Okay. Let me shuffle mine up, child.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. If you could change one decision that either you or another person in your life have made, what would it be?
Oh, damn. One decision. Wait, one decision I made or was someone else made?
Either.
Oh, either?
Yeah.
Oh, one decision I would say that I wish I did make, I would say is I wish I would have went to college. I think about it a lot. I feel like my whole worldview would be different if I went to college. Like, and at the beginning of like when I was graduating, I was like, man, I want to go to college. I want to go out of state. And I have friends pushing me like, oh, let's go to Grambling State. Let's go south, bro. Let's go. And I was like, nah. First off, I don't like you like that. Be like, wanting to go to a whole different world, with you. I don't trust you that well. I wish I would have made the decision to go because I want to see the world. I want to see different places. And I wouldn't have the mind view that I have sometimes living in Portland, Oregon. One of the things I am going to do next year is I'm going to start traveling more. Like, I told myself this year I was just going to get on a plane and go somewhere by myself, like, and just like see shit, like, because I feel like I am so comfortable. Like, I'm so comfortable living in my situation, just living, and I'm just like, and watching my friends, especially like some of my coworkers at work that are leaving, going to different places, and I'm like, y'all leaving here and y'all transferring here and blah blah blah, like. And then a coworker of mine, there's this thing called national deployment for TSA, and they go to different airports, and they go to different places, and they stay there for like 3 months or whatever, 3 to 6 months sometimes, and then they fly, they go back home, get home ported, and then if another airport needs some people, they send them out or whatever. So I was thinking about applying for that when it opens back up next month. Now that I'm dual certified, so I can work in baggage. Now I ain't gotta talk to passengers all day, which I'm loving. I have 1 day off the floor, and I'm just like, thank God, because I'll be going crazy up there talking to people. But so I was like, I might do that. But the sucky part about it is that even though you get more money, the sucky part is that you don't know where you end up at. So I can end up in like North Carolina or some racist place, or Wyoming or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be so concerned about North Carolina, but Wyoming or like Idaho.
Like Idaho, like I can end up in places like that. So I'm kind of like, do I really want to sign up for it? Because you can't say no. You can't, like, if they need the deployment there, they need it. But I'm like, fuck, man. I was hoping like somewhere like fucking like somewhere in like Texas or like,
I don't know exactly why you want to go to Texas. Because you nasty. Because you know who all down there.
Yeah, boy.
I want to go to like Dallas or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I was about to say Fort Lauderdale next because that's another destination they send people to. Fort Lauderdale. They send people to Jacksonville. They send people. They've been actually sending people to more New York shits too, because I'm telling you, the turnover rate is so bad for TSA now. It's gotten so worse since the pandemic. Like, people just been quitting. And then, like, what a lot of people don't know is like 1 in 3, like, the statistic for suicide for TSA is like very, very high.
Really?
Yeah. And during the pandemic, there was someone who jumped off in Orlando, jumped off the whatever building it is, and there's like an airport, there's like an elevator there, and he jumped off that.
Wow.
Yeah. After seeing one of the managers. Yeah. So people don't understand, like, the job that we do is very, very, it's a high stress job. I think people look at it as like, oh, we just like, your laptop's out of your bag and all that shit. That's the minimal. It's like every time I get an X-ray, I get nervous. Yeah. Even though I'm good at it and I know what I'm looking at, like, people don't understand, like, from that to like the tests that get ran on us to make sure that we do our jobs, to just the redundancy of, like, I was telling someone the other day about customer service, and the reason why, like, I don't like calling my job customer service, but in a sense, it is some type of customer service in a sense, or just a service job in general. When I go out to eat, servers, I try to be the nicest ever to any server, especially when I can read their body language if they're having a bad day, if shit is stressful. I try to make things so simple for them because their job is so redundant and they're working for tips. So I try to be really nice and also get what I want too. Yeah. But like, I try not to be a problematic person because their job is so demanding of them. And it sucks to be doing something so repetitive over and over and over. And it's mentally draining because you're code switching. Oh, how's your day going? Oh, oh, I'm doing good. Being all extra nice to these people to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel good. Like you have to, it's exhausting. And so I know what it feels like when I'm at work and I have to, hey, in this line, make sure nothing comes out of your bags. Oh, in this line, oh, but over there, they're telling me to take things out. Okay, but as me as a person, I'm telling you right now, look at me in my eyes. I'm telling you right now, do not take nothing out because this is a different machine. Like you're not listening to me, and like getting pushed back about every single thing. Like, oh my God, on the website it said 8 ounces. No, the fuck, you're lying. It did not say 8 ounces on the website. It's 3.4. It's been this way since 2000 motherfucking 3. Like it becomes such a negative response with people all the time.
And you think that part of your life would be different if you went to college and like were able to travel more?
Yeah, I have a different job. Like, and my friend tried to get me to work for Cash App recently, and I was like, in this remote job, and I was like, man, I actually been asking God to give me a remote job, but then I was just like, I don't want to start over. So then that was the fear part of me too, and I missed out on it because I was like, I don't want to start over, and then I'm like, but I had an opportunity to do something a little different that would brought a little stress off of me. What the fuck was you doing, Dre? I talked to my therapist about this last week on Monday. He said, "Yeah, man, like you missed out. You dropped the ball. Like you can always go back to TSA. Don't live on like a bad term. Shit, maybe even try to go part time. That could have been cool for you too. Mm-hmm. But like you're missing out on the opportunity of something that could have been good for you. Like, and I was like,
I know somebody that works at Cash App too. Is this the same friend? Is this the same friend we have that works at Cash App?
No. Oh, okay. They used to work at. She's not burning. They used to work at TSA with me, and now they work for Cash App.
Oh, okay. Well, we have a mutual friend that works at Cash App. We can talk about that later.
Okay, cool. But yeah, that's it. Okay, let me see. Okay, I want to find something nasty. I know I got nasty in here. I got a nasty one. This ain't a nasty one. What's your favorite comfort show? Oh, I was saving this one from. Oh,
comfort show.
Yeah, like something that you watch every day, like just because, like no matter how like a rerun. Because what they say is that most people, they watch like the same shows over and over and over because it's like a comfort show. It's something that makes them feel comfortable at ease. It's normal.
Mm-hmm. I think because I don't have cable. I think when I had cable, I used to watch the same stuff over and over, but I was a kid, so
yeah,
that was different. But I would say I don't have a comfort show. Like there's not something that like, even if I'm watching other things, I'll put that on just to like have a sense of comfort. But I will say I tend to watch like Housewives, like reality TV, Housewives of Atlanta, when I just want to like turn my brain off and just feel like I'm relaxed. Or I'll watch certain YouTube stuff. Like I love the Don't Call Me White Girl podcast.
Oh yeah.
I watch her video podcast.
Like, she funny.
Re-release,
she funny as fuck.
She's funny as hell. So yeah, I would say that.
Oh, I'm gonna answer this one too. My comfort show, and I was gonna do a TikTok about this, is Living Single, and I watch Regular Show and Steven Universe. Those are my 3 comfort shows. Oh, Family Guy too, but mostly those are my three comfort shows that I watch. Now I watch them over and over and over and over and over. I watch Living Single. I know every episode by heart at this point. Living Single is like my girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think people realize when you look back at that show how detrimental it was to the 90s and how it made me like, and we were talking about womanhood earlier, how like each woman had a different version of womanhood and what it looked like for them. Regine being the princess and being, the high woman, but also struggling in so many areas of her life. Khadijah, fucking a business owner of a magazine that wants to make it big and bring a message to the world. You got Maxine, attorney at law, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. That's my bit, lawyer, but also struggling with love and struggling with her own emotions and like, then you got, I forget the last one. What the fuck?
Regine? Did you say Regine?
No, fuck. How did I forget her name? It is one of my favorite characters.
Regine, Max Khadijah, and not
fuck.
Sinclair. Sinclair is her boyfriend.
No, it is Sinclair.
That's her name?
Is it Sinclair?
No, it's
Overton and
it's hold on. I'm on my computer, so I can just
how I forget her name. And she's one of my favorites.
No, it is Sinclair. Yeah,
it's Sinclair. So Sinclair, you know, being a goofy person, but also an inspired actress, like you had so many different versions of womanhood there. And I was just like, man, like this is fucking dope. And then like the boys most definitely played side character to that. And that's what I loved.
Yes.
That's what I loved about that show. It was so dope. And then regular show is just a weird ass fucking cartoon, but also talked about so many different versions of like growing up. So like, and I've discovered that was on what a lot of people don't understand is that regular show was supposed to be on Adult Swim, and they ended up putting it on Cartoon Network instead, and just took out a lot of the subliminal stuff and the cuss words and shit. But that's one of my favorite cartoons, animated shows. And then Steven Universe, of course, very emotional, very very queer friendly cartoon that was very, very good. One of my favorite episodes was episode season 5, episode 1, where Steven was talking about being afraid. That's a really good show.
People really revere that show. They hold it to very high regard.
Yeah. I love that fucking show.
It's a good show.
It is.
I don't have to look in my hat. How many more are we doing?
2 more.
Okay, I don't have to look at my hat. I'm gonna just ask you this one since you want to get nasty.
Okay.
What is your freakiest video store moment?
My freakiest what?
Video store moment.
Video store moment?
Mm-hmm.
Like being at the porn store?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, girl.
yeah. We're gonna get into some things. Yeah.
Girl. I would say sucking 2 dicks at once. It was my freakiest moment.
Sucking 2 at once?
Yeah.
Like in the same room?
Yeah, I was in a double glory. Oh, see, now they gonna judge me. I was in a double glory hole.
Yeah. And
it was 2 dicks, and I was like, ooh. That's all.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
It was fun. That was a good one, and it was 2 hot dudes too. So that made it even better.
So you was like,
yeah. And then one came in. One of the ones asked to come in. I let him come in, and it was.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It was fucking hot. It was hot.
That's hot. That's hot.
Okay, fuck that. Now I'm just gonna find a question.
Because I was like, we need to turn the heat up.
Okay, this is boring. What's your favorite sexual position? That's boring, but
okay. Penetrative sex, I would say probably as a top, the guy riding me, like reverse cowgirl, I think is my favorite position. Non-penetrative sex, like just fucking around, I would say, because like I top, but I prefer like foreplay stuff mostly.
Yeah.
And then with certain people, like it takes a lot for me mentally to get into the penetrative sex space because it's just like a lot of pressure for me, and I built up as like over time, especially when I was young, I built up a lot of pressure for sex. So like getting to a place where I'm even comfortable penetrating you is like I just have to work myself up to it. But because of that, I like to do a lot of side stuff. So I would say someone sit on my face. Sit on my face.
I love eating ass. I'm an ass eater. I always tell people I don't eat everybody's ass now, but I'm an ass.
Oh yeah, no, we don't know. We're not just eating indiscriminate ass.
It gotta be like it for me. I like it has to be very appealing for me to eat your ass. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't necessarily mean when I say it has to be appealing, it's like, oh, it has to be like, I mean, I do prefer bigger guys. So like a big ass is like, oh my God. And it doesn't have to be like a big bubble butt, but like a nice little flat booty is nice, you know, like I'm okay with stuff like that. Like I'm not judging someone. Like I'm not saying you gotta have a delicious big booty bubble butt, but like if your whole look like it's just like about to prolapse and like all this stuff, I'm not eating it.
See, that's the thing that people too like. I feel like when it comes to, well, at least from the perspective of a top, I feel like people think that we're looking at asses like it has to be perfectly round,
Yeah.
and like it has to, you have to be able to pick it up with your hands, be able to snap front
Yeah.
and back, and that is nice. And I will say,
Yes, it's very nice.
I definitely prefer asses like that.
I do, me
But
too.
at the end of the day, to me, it's more so about the appearance of the whole. If the because like
Exactly.
if your hole is pretty and it looks like it's tight or it looks like it just there's certain holes that look pretty and it
Yes.
doesn't necessarily like pretty doesn't translate to bald. It doesn't translate to like pink or perfectly brown. It's
Yeah.
just like you just have a pretty hole. Sometimes that's enough, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Like I like a pretty hole, but when I see it look all like about to fucking fall out you, like girl,
yeah.
no.
But it's giving
I might
swole.
yeah, like I might fuck you, but I'm not gonna eat it because it just don't look delicious.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, that's just not my thing. Like, and I wish people would understand that. It's not a judgment thing, girl. Just go get it fixed or something. Like,
Go on, get it fixed.
okay, let me ask one more. We got one more. One
Okay.
more.
Okay.
I didn't put a lot of sexual things in here. That was the only one. This one sounds stupid. Fuck. This one do sound stupid.
Just choose whatever one you want to choose. If there was one you really wanted to ask.
Shit. Okay, let me do that. This one, well, it don't sound stupid. It just, I feel like it's gonna dub it down.
Okay.
Ooh, what does your dream man look like?
You know, I wish I could tell you, and I'm not trying to be like political or whatever, but like when I think about the kind of men that I like on paper, which tends to be like tall, beefy, like hairy, but not too hairy, you know, like a nice beard, very well dressed,
Yeah.
good teeth, you know, those things. I think some of those elements are pretty evergreen. Like you have to have good teeth, you have to be well dressed, you have to be manicured to a certain degree. Like I like you to be pretty or
Right.
handsome at least. You can't just be all like you can be rugged, but you got to still be pretty.
Right.
But then I look at the people that I've hooked up with or that I've dated, and it's like it doesn't necessarily match up.
Right.
So I don't
I
know
feel
what my
that.
ideal man looks like. I know I know the ideal qualities
Right.
that he has. I know the kind of lifestyle that I want to live with him or them. But yeah, I don't have a specific set of appearance things. I
Right.
I will say it's hard for me to be with short people.
Right.
So I tend
I
to have
feel
a
that.
bit of a height limit.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer this too. So for me, I already know what my dream man look like. My dream man is a big dude who lift weights, bearded, fucking. I love bald head dudes, but he don't have to be bald. He can have long hair too, or like a shortcut. Motivated, funny, or sense of humor. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be funny, but have a sense of humor, laid back, and not just too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually was dating somebody like for like 2 months, and it just did not turn out the right way. But like, we still friends.
I was there.
Yeah,
I was there at a distance.
Yeah, and it was so annoying, bro. Because I feel like we'll talk about it offline or something. Yeah, I don't want because he listens to my show, and I don't want him to get mad because we still friends. Just it got complicated, and like the funny part is I don't give a fuck. The funny part is I saw all the red flags from the get go, which is my toxic trait. As I'll see a motherfucker clear, and I'll be like, but he's so cute. Oh my god, I want him. Mm-hmm. It's like, but no, bitch, that's the lesson. Like, You see it, run, bitch, run. Like, what are you doing? Like, but anyways, that's my dream, man. Big bearded, lift weights, just because I like to lift weights, and I just feel like it's really dope to have somebody to do the same thing that you do and understand the lifestyle that you live. So it's like easier to understand, like, I don't want to drink every fucking weekend, or I don't want to drink every day because I can't do that. Like, like, but shit like that. So, yeah. Anyways, y'all, this is the end of the show. No. I'm so happy that I got you back on here, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was about to make a big purchase, and things did not work out the way that it was supposed to work out. So I just want to tell people that too. I was supposed to buy a new laptop this week, and it did not work out the way I thought it was going to work out. So back to the drawing board on getting the laptop, because I definitely need that. My laptop is gonna die eventually, and I don't want to use my phone for this shit either. Like, as much as I like using it, and it's pretty clutch. I don't always want to use it. My friend told me to get an iPad, but I'm like, why fucking spend that much money for an iPad when I can just fucking get a MacBook? Like,
yeah, for what you do, I think you should get a MacBook.
Yeah, no reason to get a fucking iPad. Like, it's one thing if I already had an iPad, but like, I don't have one of those. So, like, what are you talking about, girl? Like, no, not gonna do that. So, yeah, we're going back to the drawing board. But I am going to take those videos that I have, and I'm going to use my friend's laptop for the moment and fucking post these videos up, because I feel like I'll have all these videos, and like, people be wanting to see the actual video. Like, I've been getting so many, you guys are so funny. Like, I just want to see the actual video, and I really love the audio, but I really want to see a video. So I want to post these videos up so people can watch them. Like, I just feel like it's only fair to the people who are actually asking me about them to post them up, because I feel like, and then I also want to get on YouTube, because I feel like that's where the money at. As much as I love the audio version of it too, like, I can still be hybrid and do audio and YouTube. It's just YouTube is where the money at, because I really want to make the money too. I want to make this, like, I was talking to my therapist, and he was like, I feel like you should make your podcast a career. Like, as much as this is your hobby, you say, oh, this is my hobby, that's your hobby. Like, that's fine, but like, why not make it your career? Why not make it where you're making money off of your show? You know, like, that could be your second job. Like, that could be a lucrative thing where you're making a ton of money from it, versus, just doing it for a hobby. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, I guess. I guess. But it's like, he was like, in the way, he's like, the reason why I feel that way about you is because when I ask you about it and we talk about it, your eyes light up, your body language changes, everything about you change into a like, he's like, that's one of the keys that I know about when someone love what they do. He's like, and that's how I know about you. He was like, when you start talking to me about lifting, I know that you love lifting because the way you talk about it. You say all these fucking, all the names of all these athletes that I ain't never heard ever before, because they're not like a basketball player or a football player. They're powerlifters. Like, I don't know this shit. I didn't know that was like a popular thing. I didn't know that was a popular sport. Like, so he's like, I know that's why you love it. Like, you love these things. People who love what they do, they talk about it with so much passion. And I think that podcast is your passion, and you need to be more serious about it. So I just been like, recently, like, man, I need to really get on the ball with this shit. Like, really, really revamp. I was going to take like, cause I usually take my season breaks like right at the beginning of like the end of summer. But I think I'm going to push until like September, and then I'm going to take a break and just like make my money, do some overtime, and just revamp my shit. Like, I need to get a better recording space, because that's what I want to do. I want to have a banner up and all this shit, like all type of shit. I don't want to talk too much about it on here, because I know it's still recording and people are listening to me. So I want her to act like I'm not recording. But you want to shout out anything?
No, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can at DEEMCMO.
Go follow my boy. He funny. His stories is funny.
Yeah, I just talk shit. I live my life. Trying to get back into singing, so hopefully you might see some music pop up. Other than that, you don't got to follow me anywhere else. Don't find me on LinkedIn.
All right, y'all know where to follow me at, right? Which is Bubba's Banter Podcast. Also, follow me on my TikTok, which is Bubba's Banter Podcast. I need to get those numbers up on there so I can put the link in the bio, y'all. Go fucking follow it. Like, goddamn. I'm just not playing.
How many times I gotta tell y'all to follow my damn TikTok?
Follow me on Facebook, and y'all know what that is, Bubba's Banter. That's my favorite. I ain't going to go into no details about why I like it, but I like it. But yeah, and I'll see y'all when this episode comes out.